This lesson it's the same lesson. We call it an extension. It's just a little bit more about parallel lines cut by a transversal. I'm going to put it into Classroom. I'd like you guys to practice on it, okay? But here's the answer key. Transversal is a line that connects two or more lines at different points. So T is the transversal because it connects lines L and K at 2 points. At different points, rather. Okay, types of angles. Let's talk about all of them. When two or more lines are intersected by a transversal, the following types of angles are formed. And we really should say when two or more parallel lines. The types of angles do not apply if the lines are not parallel. Because if the lines are not parallel, then they're going to be forming all kinds of different angles. So let's talk about corresponding angles. Angles that are on the same side of the transversal in the same relative position. Think about rows of desks in the classroom. There are 4 pairs of corresponding angles. So corresponding angles are angles 1 and angle 5. See how they're in the same place? Angle 2, angle 6, angle 3, and angle 7. Oops. And angle 4 and angle 8. They're all in the same place, but on different lines. Okay, now let's look at alternate interior. They're opposite sides of the transversal and inside the parallel lines. So there are 2 pairs of alternate interior angles here. Alternate interior angle, whoops, I always do this when I write 3. Angle 3 and angle 6, angle 5 and angle 4. All right, you see how 3 and 6 and 4 and 5 are opposite sides and between the parallel lines. Angles 3 and 4 are on opposite sides of the transversal, but they are not, you can tell, they're on the same line. They are a linear pair. They are not alternate interior angles. Angles 5 and 6 are a linear pair. Okay, let's look at alternate exterior angles. Key phrase there. Opposite sides of the transversal and outside the other 2 lines. So that, whoops. There we go. That would be angles 1 and 8 and angles 2 and 7. 2 and 7 are on opposite sides of line T, and they are outside the parallel lines. Angles 1 and 2 are on opposite sides of line T, but they are a linear pair. Alrighty, so if the lines are parallel, the above types of angles are congruent. So that is very key. Let's go to the next page of the assignment. Alrighty, again, we're just getting more practice. So here, identifying corresponding and alternate angles. You did a lesson like this when we were working on linear pairs and vertical angles. Now, we're going to talk about alternate exterior, alternate interior, and corresponding. You're doing the same type of exercise. So list a pair of alternate exterior angles. So I want you to stop the recording. I want you to do the work and then come back and check the notes. All right, a pair. Well, alternate exterior, I'm going to go with angle 1 and angle 8, angles 2 and 7. There you go. There's your alternate exterior. We have no idea if lines M and N are parallel. There's nothing in here that says find congruent. It just asks for alternate exterior, interior, and a pair of corresponding angles. All right, alternate interior angles. That would be angles 4 and 5, angles 3 and 6. And then corresponding, be 1 and 5, same place on different lines, 2 and 6, whoops, try it again. And then we have 3 and 7, and then angle 4 and angle 8. Put my little angle sign there. Okay? Those are the types of angles. Please don't memorize them by their numbers. We are not going to label these the same way every time. In fact, if you look, the pictures, the diagrams you have in the example are labeled differently than the other ones. So just don't memorize, oh, angle 1 and angle 3 are always this. No, don't do that, okay? Alrighty, let's take a look at the questions. Now we are told here there are two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. So we know the lines are parallel. Therefore, we can apply what we know about congruent angles. The measure of angle 7 is 147 degrees. We want to find, and I'm going to highlight them, angle 2 and angle 4. Alrighty? So a couple different ways you can walk this up. And I'm going to do it. Well, I know angles, I know I can't write in a highlighter. I know angle 7 is congruent to angle 3 because they are corresponding angles. So I'm going to know that angle 3 is 147 degrees. I also know that angle 2 and angle 3 are a linear pair. So angle 2 equals 180 minus 147. Angle 2 equals 33 degrees. And since angle 2 and 4 are vertical, angle 4 is 33 degrees. So here's my answer. Whoops. Measure of angle 2 equals 33. Measure of angle 4 equals 33. That is one way you could do it. You can apply all the properties. You could have said, okay, I know the measure of angle 7 and 6 are a linear pair. So angle 6 has to be 33 degrees. 6 and 4 are congruent. You could do it that way. You're going to get there the same way. There is more than one way to use the angle properties. I simply show you a way. You can do it differently, but you're still going to get the same answer. All right, let's look at number 2. Measure of angle 2 is 138. And I want to find angles 5 and 7. So let's do some math. Well, angle 2 corresponds, angle 2 corresponds, I'll do it this way, to angle 6. So angle 6 is 138 degrees. And so we know they're corresponding. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 6, corresponding. Okay. We know angle 6 and angle 5 are a linear pair, so angle 5 equals 180 minus 138. Angle 5 equals 42 degrees. And we know 5 and 7 are vertical, so they are congruent. So it's 42, and I just wrote a 7. Sorry about that. So here's my answer. Measure of angle 5 is 42 degrees. Measure of angle 7 is also 42 degrees. I like corresponding angles. I went that way. All right? Not hard. You simply have to apply. All right, this will also be in classroom.